All right, so what does it take to do a little repair? So to give you context, when I zoomed in, it looks quite big, but when you're in the whole room, there's indentations and stuff like that, and people don't really catch on the spot here. So often something like this will bother only the person that's living there. You want to cut it to where the damage is showing. So you can see that there's a gap between here and here. So we wouldn't cut it here, we would cut it over here. So we usually cut it in the fibers where it's fluffy. And that'll, because you can see that the side ones are missing a fiber every other one because they've been pulled out. So what's happened is a dog has just picked at it. When you're doing it, what you're doing is sometimes you use this as a pattern, but after I cut it, I saw some looseness in the backing, so it was separated a bit. So I went a little bit bigger, and I actually used my carpet knife, holding it back and cutting with the fibers pulled away so that I'm not going to cut any face fibers. All right. There are some people that use a hook knife and it'll just cut from the bottom, but my feeling with those is that it tends to pull too hard and it tends to shred the backing a little bit. And they're never as sharp. So as long as you fold the fibers away, you won't cut face fibers. All right. Then what you do is you take a piece that has two straight edges, so you match that, and you just peel it back, peeking at where you want it to be. And you want it to land in there perfectly. And all you have to do is, if it's a little bit high, is you take and cut it. I'll show you on this piece. Is you take and cut it, kind of keep your knife so that your scissors so it's not cutting face fibers. So you make sure the fibers are on the other side of the scissors, and you can cut a little bit off, okay? So that we don't cut any face fibers and we can get it a little closer. Always keep it in the same orientation, and when you feel that it's perfect, it's time to do the patch. Keep it in the same orientation. I usually just move it in one direction so that I know that I'm just putting it back there, because when they're square, if you rotate it, it'll be off, because lines are never quite perfect. And once you get it perfect, you don't want it to be messed up. All right, so next step. All right, so Kool glides require the special foil backs seaming tape. And to get it on there, you kind of fold it and then you unfold it while it's underneath. So you have to keep sliding it back and forth until you work it flat. Let me do that. Okay, so once you get it under there and all nice and flat, these are the center lines. And then we're going to put our piece, making sure no fibers are underneath. So I'm just basically lifting it, making sure no fibers are underneath. And then when I'm happy, I'm going to roll it. So I'm going to make sure that it's, because the roller will also make fibers pop up. And then you want this very centered on it. And then when you're happy with it, I always run it on low and I give it a little weight to it, and then I press the button. Watch that little green light. When it goes out, that means that the Kool glide's done. You give it another roll, making sure it's pressed in. Then you stick on the fan. So after it's ran a couple minutes, we want to make sure that our patch is nice and strong on the corners and everywhere else, which it is. It's invisible. See how it's completely invisible? No one could ever find that spot again versus what it was. And even that had extensions. I had to go a little further on this side and this side, so it ended up being a little bigger than that, so I couldn't really use that as a pattern, but it's just as well. I like to, I think one of the secrets are these super sharp napping scissors, and of course a Kool glide. It's really good for a single placement. When you have multiple placements as you're working your way around something, it could get too hot if you overlap, or if you get this on the edge. So you always want to make sure that you're never getting the Kool glide over this part, because this part will burn because it catches a little too much air and gets too much heat, just like in a microwave. So in foil, when it's microwaved, it'll get burned. I don't think this is microwave. I'm not quite sure how. I think it's induction, but however it works, I make sure that I'm not too close to it, other than my hand. All right, so that's it. Let me clean up, and that's basically how a little spot is fixed. And if you're in the Temecula area and something like this is bothering you, it's a quick, perfect repair. It's always nice when the customer has spare carpet, but even without that, we could take a corner of a closet, and then I could use some of my carpet to patch the closet. Just makes it a little bit more money, maybe an extra 25, and that's about it. Give me a thumbs up and a like if this helps you understand how simple it is to repair a damage, and if you're in the Temecula area, give us a call. Thanks, bye-bye.